Magazine.
Federico, thank you so much for taking a couple minutes to talk with me today. I got to tell you, your movie blew me the hell away. I don't know. I, I don't know where this movie came from. I know I knew nothing about it. I got a link in the mail and I put this thing in, and it just blew my mind. So,
Oh,
congratulations.
wow.
Uh,
Thank you.
Now, and I don't want to lie to you. I had not heard of you prior to this film. So I'm thinking, I'm concerned that perhaps people listening to this haven't either. Tell me a little bit about Federico. Where do you hail from? What brought you to the well?
So first of all, I mean, I'm a musician. Uh, so I made like 20 albums in Italy, wrote so many popular songs. But my music, the music that I make with my band, Di Romancino, is more like some kind of a romantic music, a little bit intimate, soft music. So there is a big difference between me as a musician and as a director, because when I'm a director, I love the horror, the gore, and all this extreme stuff. When I play my music, I love the blues and very chilling atmospheres. So I
Uh,
should be probably bipolar.
so, well, you certainly bring the gore and the violence in the well. And I think what here in America, what's going to be a big draw for you is the fact that you got Lauren Rivera in this film.
Yeah.
When you came across her, had Terrifier 2 already happened? I mean, where is this in the timeline, the chronology of her career? Had you already made this movie before Terrifier 2 made her
No,
a household name?
no. I mean, I saw Terrifier 2, and then I went on Lauren Lavera Instagram profile just to congratulate. And, just sending a message, just, oh, what an amazing job on Terrifier 2. Congratulations. After a while, I got a message back from her in a perfect Italian, and she told me, Federico, it's a pleasure talking to you. My husband, which is Italian, is a big fan of yours, of your music. And so thank you very much. I mean, that was, and I was surprised. Oh, her husband is Italian. And so from that moment on, we start having some kind of conversation. And I told her, I'm preparing a horror film. Would you like to read the screenplay? And so, it was a back and forward, and we ended up shooting the movie together.
Oh, it's great. I think she's phenomenal in this. I liked her in Terrifier 2. I loved her in this film. She really shows a range, and in no small part due to your direction, I'm sure. But you know how she kind of comes in as the like fish out of water, into this small town, and ends up being this ass kicking final girl. At
Mhm.
the end of the movie, and it was just such a great role for her. So again, marvelous casting, marvelous casting.
Oh,
Uh,
thank
we
you very much.
we have to touch on two things. I want to make sure we touch on because I know our time's limited here. First off, the story. I know you co-wrote this
Yeah.
story, and but I mean, what a tale. I mean, where does this come from? Was this all from the imagination of Federico, or
Yeah, I mean, I always been very scared by the figure of the well because I mean, in Italy, when I was like 5, 6 years old, it happened a tragedy. So a very young boy, my same age, fell into this very profound and deep well, and people have been trying to save his life for like 10 days because I mean, unfortunately, this little kid was fell very deep into this well. Was more like a natural well,
Mhm.
kind of a hole in the ground, and so we call that artesian well. that kind of well.
Right.
And so I was following all the story, hoping for. I was, very shocked by the story because he could have been me, and so I was trying to, okay, let's do it, let's save his life, but the kid ended up dying. They couldn't,
Oh, that's horrible.
get him back, and so I was so shocked of this. So one day I was speaking to my wife, and then I asked her, "What really scares you?" And she got the well. So, oh my God! So you second, it's me. I mean, it's my fear, and so I start wondering maybe I should make a movie about a well. And then I called the guy who I normally write with. We wrote the first draft of the story, and he came up with the painting. Like, okay, the well is a great idea, but we can connect it with something else, and maybe they have a kind of relationship between this painting and the well. And so, I mean, the story start coming up.
That was a great story. I wasn't expecting, again, with a title like The Well, I wasn't expecting the whole cursed painting kind of
Yeah.
witchcraft or whatever was going on there. So it was a great surprise as the story unveiled. And yeah, it's just a real surprise. I can't wait for people to see this. People need to watch this movie. It's one of the best of the year in my book.
Oh, thank you very much. Man, I saw your review on the internet. Tomorrow I'm going to post it on the well social media. And I was very, impressed by your review because I understood that you really got the sense of this film. I mean, this is some kind of a new version of the Italian horror I grew up with. So people who loves the Italian horror, our tradition, Italian horror is a very crazy mix up. So
Yeah,
it's very bloody, it's very gory. Sometimes it's even a little over exaggerated, it's over the top, and you need some crazy music, a little touch of black humor. So you have a lot of ingredients into an Italian horror. If
yeah,
you
you got
are yeah, I tried to make my mix and put all these elements, combining those elements from the past with new elements. So it may be a different way of telling a story, and the way I was mixing those two storylines. And so you have people really loving this movie if they like the Italian horror and our approach to the horror, and you have a lot of other people hating the well from exactly the same reasons.
that makes no sense. I don't understand that at all. We got to touch on the gore because again, horror fans are going to latch on to this. I mean, this definitely had a late '70s, early '80s vibe to it, in the way not only the effects were constructed and performed, but in the way that you shot them. So it looked to me, and again, I am not a film professional anyway, but it seemed like you went for the most part with practical effects.
Oh
Am
yeah,
I correct in that?
yeah, 100%. I'm a big fan of the practical effects because I mean, if you go with CGI, you won't get the same result. Um, the practical effects are very difficult to make, but the result is incredibly better because they are more real. It's just risky when you work with practical effects because sometimes if you don't do the right things and you make mistakes, you're gonna waste a lot of time
Yeah,
because all the makeup, all the effects. You really need to study every single shot you're doing, so to make sure is gonna be good, because otherwise you have to get back all the actors, redo the makeup, redo everything, and it takes a lot of time. So this is the only reason why not so many directors want to deal with practical effects, because it takes very long to make them, and then you need to pay a lot of attention when you're shooting. Otherwise, you're gonna run out of time.
What was your biggest challenge effects wise? What was the hardest thing to pull off? Without I don't want you to spoil anything in the movie because I want people to watch the movie. So let's be careful where we tread here. But
Yeah.
was the creature the hardest part, or was it a
No, no, no,
standalone
no, no,
effect?
no, no. Not for me, because the creature was, just the Carlo Diamantini, which is the effects creator, who was just putting that incredible makeup on the actor. And it took like 5 hours. Sometimes I was going into the dress room and trying to support this poor soul, under this huge amount of makeup. But this guy was so cool. Okay, don't worry. I'm here. I'm doing my job. So, I mean, that wasn't a problem at all for me, the creature makeup. It was more about all the gory moments, all the killings, because that was, we had a stunt coordinator, to make sure the actors were not going to hurt themselves in
Sure.
fighting scenes, and falling down and being brutalized and all that stuff. But I think, yeah, that was pretty busy, that part. Imagine that we just had 4 weeks for shooting the entire film.
Wow, that's unbelievable.
4 weeks is very short time. So the killings were very. I was, on the edge of my seat all the time, trying to tell exactly the actors what to do, and that was, a busy, very busy time. The shooting of the well chamber.
Yeah. That did was all that constructed sets? You had to build all that stuff. You had to build the well and all that.
Yeah, we had to build.
Yeah.
I mean, we had two main locations. The first one was the mansion, the little town near Rome. It's like 40 minutes driving from Rome. There is this very peculiar and small town with this big mansion. And as soon as I saw the mansion, I thought that that was the perfect place for this film, because it was very elegant, a little ancient, but at the same time it was very creepy and sinister. So I just, after 1 minute I saw the first photo of that place. I was in my car driving to the place, and when I was there I felt, like some kind of, oh, this place is fucking creepy. I don't want to sleep in such a place.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that was the first location. And the other one was in the legendary De Paulis studios, where all the masters used to shoot their movies. And so we just recreated the well chambers and all the cells. And yeah, that was probably the harder part of the film.
Well, it all paid off because it is a fun watch. It's the best way I can describe it is a throwback to the 70s and 80s gore films that I
Oh,
personally cut my teeth on, and I think anyone who loves that style of filmmaking is going to eat this one up, Federico. So,
thank you very much. Thank you very much.
absolutely.
I really appreciate, because you got the sense of this film.
Well, I appreciate that as well. Um, that's all I got, Federico. I appreciate your time, and keep making movies. We need more of these.
Thank you very much, sir.
You have a good evening. I appreciate your time.
Okay, ciao. Thank you.
Thank you.